This is Mrs. Naslund, and today our lesson will have us practicing our multiplication and division with some games, but then also having us do some input-output tables. So here's what the direction says. It says, look at the input-output tables below. For every input number, there is only one output number. The rule describes what to do to the input number to get the output number. It says, write the rule and then complete the table. So first off, I look at this, and you'll see my input side and the output. I like to think of it as a machine. I put in my input number, and I have to figure out how it's spitting out this number. So there's a couple tricks that you can use to help figure it out, and I wrote a little key up here. If the number is going up, so from 7 to 42, the number is going up, there are only two ways a number can go up. I can either add another number on, or I can multiply it by a number to make it go up. Now, sometimes, like in this case, the number is going down from 81 to 9. There are only two ways to go down. You can either subtract a number or you can divide. So the first thing you want to decide, is the number going up or is it going down? And then you want to decide, is it a multiply or is it an add? And sometimes it takes some trial and error to figure it out. So let's look at this first one. In this case, I see my inputs are lower and my outputs are higher. So I know that it's going up. So it's either going to be adding something or multiplying. So then I look and I see if there's any that I just know. And I say, oh, look at this 6. It's going up. If I was adding, I would be adding 30. I'd say 30 plus 6 is 36. But if I add 30 onto 4, I'd get 34, and that didn't work. So I know it's not adding, so it has to be multiplying. So then I think, okay, what am I multiplying? Well, 6 times 6 is 36. That worked. And I always want to try a couple to make sure. 4 times 6 is 24. That worked as well. Let's try one more. 7 times 6 is 42. So now I know my rule. My rule is times 6. Now I can use that to figure out my missing pieces. So here, I look and I think, okay, 8 times 6. Well, I know that 8 times 6 is 48, so that's going to be my blank there. And then I'm going to come down and do this bottom one, and we'll come back to this one. 5 times 6 is 30. Now this one is different because I don't know the input, but I do know the output. So instead of timesing 6, instead of going backwards, I'm going to do the inverse operation, or the opposite. So the opposite of times 6 is divide 6. So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to say, what is 54 divided by 6? Or 6 times what is 54? And I know that 54 divided by 6, or 9 times 6, is 54. And you'll see that I was able to figure out my missing pieces. All right, let's try one more. Here, I see my input numbers are higher and my output numbers are lower. So I know I'm going down. So I'm looking for either a subtraction or a division. All right, well, if I go from 45 to 5, if I was doing subtraction, I'd have to minus 40. That's a lot to minus. So if I do 81 minus 40, I would get 71, 61, 51, 41. Well, that didn't work. So it's not minus this time. It has to be divide. So 81 divided by what equals 9? Or I could think 9 times what equals 81, right? Do the inverse. But I know that 81 divided by 9 equals 9. What this one? 45 divided by 9 equals 5. Hey, it's working. 54 divided by 9 equals 6. So my rule is divide by 9. So now I can use that to figure out my missing numbers. 72 divided by what equals 9? Or 8 times what equals 72? If I'm going this way. And I know that 8 times 9, or 72 divided by 9, equals 8. And then this one, 27 divided by 9. Well, if I count by 9s, I know that I can get 3 9s into 27. So 27 divided by 9 is 3. Now remember, when we're going backwards, we're going to do the opposite, or the inverse. So instead of divide by 9, I'm going to multiply by 9. So 7 times 9 gives me this 63. All right, so today You'll have a chance to practice some of your multiplication and division in some games, and then you'll also practice figuring out some input-output tables. I would write this down or jot this down in your notes because this is really helpful when we get to these input-output tables.